Kyle Mohan Racing, checking out this really cool RX7 with a unique setup. I built the motor for this and have helped with some of this configuration. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a little bit of a technical talk or just setup talk about something not drift car. This is a drag car, or maybe half-mile or 2-mile car. I'm not really sure what the owner plans to do with it, but he definitely plans to go fast. So we're going to talk a little bit about this configuration. He's actually running a water to air intercooler, a little different than what we see on road race or drift cars. They've got great cooling ability, provided the water or water tank, whatever you're using to cool them, is maintaining a cool point or below ambient temperature. T7 comp turbo, this thing's massive. Regarding the actual exhaust manifold, it's got bracing, it's thick wall tubing, and it was difficult to position because if you actually look at it, there's not enough space to get it down in between the frame rails. So very large turbo. The motor itself is a KMR block. It is a semi-peripheral port setup running a Pro J Typhoon intake. This setup should really be capable of well over 1,000 horsepower. I'm hoping to see something closer to 1,200 horsepower out of this 13B setup. You can see we're actually got 3 fuel rails. It's a fully studded, ported, balanced, side cut KMR block. And by full studding, I mean all of the tension bolts throughout the block, 16 of them, have been replaced with 1/2-inch KMR studs. The whole block was machined for this girdling or strengthening process. The intention was to run a electric water pump, but right now the configuration's set up with a traditional water pump. And we're still mocking up some of our other components like fuel system and radiator, but I thought just the fact that it's a water to air setup, T7 turbo with a semi-peripheral 13B running a Typhoon, that makes it unique enough that I should do a little talk about this. It is a 2mm apex seal motor. They are a steel aftermarket seal. Stock corner steels, stock side seals. We ramped up the oiling system, so the whole oiling system, bearings, pump, everything's been revamped. We ported, bored, polished, race bearings, 3-window front and rear main bearings, and then all of those were WPC treated. Shaft's been micro polished. It is an OEM shaft. I think in this type of a configuration, I probably would say this is getting up into the horsepower where a billet shaft might be recommended. But it really just depends on how you want to go about it. Everybody's got their own recipes, but I think this is getting up into that range. Really cool configuration. Definitely not something you see every day. There's still some more work to be done. 3.5-inch intercooler piping. I prefer just smooth radiuses, but we really didn't have the room and we didn't want to use cast bends, so we ended up going with a pie cut, and all of this was backfilled, and so inside it's nice and smooth. And you can see gradually from the turbo we end up necking down into our plenum just slightly to get in through that 80mm throttle body. I think this is going to be running a Haltech ECU. I think it's going to be running either ethanol or methanol. They want that cool burn. There's definitely going to be I think a water injection setup on here as well. Probably some nitrous as well. But I'd love to see this 13B get over 1,200 horsepower, and I'd love to see this customer's build do some amazing things. So follow KMR. We're just talking rotaries, showing off what we are doing, what our customers and friends are doing, having a good time answering questions. So if you've got anything to say, you can feel free to comment below, ask us questions, and we'll make sure to do our best to answer. KMR, we're gonna brap on out of here. Brap.